Hey guys, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Welcome to another part of Aptitude for CSIR NET series. Today's video is going to be about Venn diagram. Now, Venn diagram is a very important concept which is asked in Aptitude part and which is very frequently asked in CSIR NET. That is also asked in various different exams, in GATE exam as well. But we'll be talking about some questions which have been asked from Venn diagram in CSIR NET, and I'll explain you the concept so that it becomes easy for you to solve such questions. Okay, now the thing is that this topic, this Venn diagram, is actually taught in mathematics in class 11th and 12th. So those who are from maths background and those who have studied this topic properly, they feel it easy to solve such questions. But those who are from non-maths background, means bio students who have not taken mathematics in 11th and 12th, those students find it very difficult to solve questions from Venn diagram and they generally ignore it. So what I want to do in this video is I'll be making less of mathematics part, like I'll be discussing less of formula and less of equations and all, and I'll be talking about Venn diagram from the logical aspect. Okay, that how you can solve from the logical perspective, right? It's very simple. You just have to understand what exactly it is, what is the logic behind this Venn diagram, why basically we use Venn diagram. These are the things which we are going to discuss in the video. Also, this is the sixth part of this particular series, right? So we have already discussed quite a few topics in this particular series and I hope that you guys are liking it. Please watch the other parts from this playlist. I will link the playlist over here in the I button. And also, if you're liking the video, please give it a like, subscribe the channel. It all motivates me to make more videos for you guys. Alright, now without wasting any time, let's continue with our video. Alright, so let's try to understand Venn diagrams first of all. Okay, so usually you will see these three types of Venn diagrams if they are mentioned as a Venn diagram in the question, or they might give you as a data in the question. Okay, so in both the cases what you have to do is you have to make such Venn diagrams. Okay, now this Venn diagram consists of one quantity, like when you have only one quantity to take care about, this is the Venn diagram which you use. When you have two different things and you want to see the relationship between them, in that case you use this type of Venn diagram. Okay, so I'll call this quantity as A, I'll call these as A and B. These are two different quantities or two different things which you are seeing the relationship among, and this one is between three things. Okay, so this is up to which they can ask up to three things, relationship between three things. Now first one is pretty simple, and let's try to first of all understand what this diagram actually means and why do we make this Venn diagram. See, this Venn diagram actually is a information, or you can say it's a way of informing people from a graphical aspect or from a diagram aspect. Okay, let's say if you want to say that there are 100 students. Okay, there are total 100 students and out of those 60 are passed students. Okay, that's all information which you want to represent. So which Venn diagram you will use? So since you only have one like characteristic which you have to represent, because total is 100, that's fine, but only you have to talk about 60 students which have passed, so you will use the first Venn diagram. Now what this Venn diagram will suggest, like again if I make, so this whole rectangle is basically talking about the whole 100 students. Okay, this whole rectangle. Okay, so that means the everyone who is inside this rectangle are students. Okay, so this is about 100 students. So everyone, whatever you draw inside it, are students, are going to be about the students. Now 60 have passed. So where those 60 students will come? Of course, they are students only, so they will come inside, and they are special students who have passed it. So these are passed students. Okay, so passed are here. Now from here itself you can tell that how many of them have failed, or where will be the failed ones. So if passed ones are shown from this inside of the graph, the failed ones will be outside of the graph, right, or outside of the diagram. So over here this region is going to represent all the students who have failed, the outside of the circle. So you can simply calculate how many of them have failed. Just from this much information you can tell how many of them failed. So total were 100 and 60 have passed, so 40 have failed. So this is the use of Venn diagram of informing or providing information in a concise manner. Okay, that is the first thing for which we use Venn diagram. Now let's say I want to use this Venn diagram. For this I have to I should have a different scenario. So let's say again I have 100 students. Okay, 100 students, and out of those 100 students 20 are girls, or I would say not girls and boys. Let's say that 20 are the students who passed in science. Okay, 20 passed in science, and there are 50 who passed in maths. Okay, so there are, let's say there are only two subjects, science and maths. So out of these 100 students, 20 passed in science, 50 passed in maths. Now of course there will be some students who have passed in both of them. So how many? Let's say that 10 passed in both. Okay, 10 passed in both. So how you will represent this data in the form of Venn diagram? You will be using this, because you have two things to represent, like two subjects or two different things which has to be like represented in the form of graph. So that in the form of diagram. So that's why you will be using this Venn diagram. Okay, so again I am going to make a Venn diagram. This whole rectangle is going to talk about the total students. This means all the 100 students are going to be represented by this rectangle. The first circle which I am making is for the science students, and the second circle which I am making is for the maths student. Now understand why this area is common in both of them, or why this region is common in both of them. It is because there are some students who have passed in both the subjects. Let's say if there was no student who has passed in both the subjects, or there was nothing common between the two subjects, or there was no students, zero students who passed in both, then the diagram would have been like this: science and maths, just like that. Why? Because there is no student who has passed both the subjects. But here, since some of them have passed both the subjects, so the proper Venn diagram should be like this. Now you don't have to look for the formula or anything. Just by simple logic, what you will say, that this, okay, let me change the color of this. This whole area is going to tell you about what? It is going to tell you about science students, let's say. Okay, this is for, I'm writing here, this is for science. Whereas this whole region is telling you for maths. So this region is telling you for science, this is for maths, and this region which is in center, which is here, which is coinciding in both of them, this is for both. Okay, I'll use the next slides to explain you this in more detail. Alright, so let's say I have just drawn the same diagram in a little proper way. So total were 100. Okay, total students are 100. This is the area which is representing science, this is the area which is representing maths, this is the region which is representing both. Okay, now if someone asks you that what is the number of students who have passed only science, okay, only science. See, again I am telling, there were 20 students who passed in science. These 20 students are passed in science. Here, while counting these students, the students who passed in science, you have counted those students who passed only in science. Okay, those who have passed only science plus those who passed in both of them, right? Because those who have passed in both the subjects, they eventually might have passed in science also, right? So they are counted here. So this 20 is the number containing only science student also, and it is also containing those which have passed in both. So considering that, if you see from the diagram itself, what it says, that science students was this much. Okay, I'm shading this region. So this region was for science student, and this was for both. If you only want for if you want to find out only science student, those who have passed in only science, for that you have to subtract from the total science. Okay, from total students who have passed in science. Okay, those who have passed in science minus those who have passed in both. So this is going to give you this value, or this number is going to tell you about how many have passed only in science, excluding those who were passed in both of them. So it was how much? It was 20 who have passed in science subtracted by those who have passed in both, that is 10. So this is going to give us 10. So there are 10 such students who have passed only in science. Okay. Similarly, you can find out how many students have passed only in maths. Okay. So only maths. Those who have passed only in maths. Again, for that, I'll change the color to show you. These are the students who have passed in mathematics, right? This whole circle is telling you about the students who have passed in mathematics, whereas this region is for both. Again, same thing you will do. You will subtract those students who have passed in both from those who have passed in maths. Okay, so this number according to the question will become how much? 50 minus 10. So 50 minus 10, it will come up 40. So there are 40 such students who have passed only in mathematics. Okay, so see, there were a total 100 students. Out of those 100 students, those who have passed in science according to question were 20. Those who have passed in maths, they were 50 students, and those who have passed in both, they are 10 students, right? And from this much information you were able to find out how many passed only in science. Okay, only in science. So for that you have done subtracted it. Just from the diagram also you can see. Then again those who have passed only in maths, that also you were able to calculate. Okay. Now in the same question, let's say in the same question, this question which we were discussing, if someone asks that how many passed neither in science nor in maths, or you can say how many failed basically. Okay, so that you can calculate simply. How you will calculate those who have failed in, or those who have not passed in any subject? How you will find out? So basically this whole rectangle is telling you about the total students. This circle is telling you about those who have passed in science. This circle is telling you about those who passed in maths. This circle is this area is telling you about those who passed in both. So those who have not passed, they will lie outside this circle, right? That is again going to come up to the first, where I told you that if the passed students are inside, so the failed student will lie outside of the circle. Same thing will come here as well, and that means which area right now they are asking in the question. They are trying to ask this region. So how you will find out this region? Okay, so let's try to understand it. How you will find out this region? So what you will do? First of all, you need the total area. Okay, so how you will find out that? First of all, you will do total students. Okay, total students means this whole rectangle. Simply you just have to see the figures and understand. From this figure, okay, now if I want to I just want to get this green shaded region, this shaded region. If I want to get, what and how I should get that? I should subtract this area, right, the circles. How I will do that? I will add both the circles and I will subtract all together. So that means area of S plus area of, I'm just writing in the form of area over here. Okay. So I should rather call it total rectangle, or I should write it down in the form of area itself, right? So this, let's say this is rectangle minus area of S plus area of M. Now when you have done this, when you have subtracted this area of S and area of M, in that case what you are exactly doing? When you are subtracting this S, you have subtracted this area also, because when you are subtracting S, basically that means you are subtracting this whole circle, right? This whole circle is getting subtracted. And when you are subtracting this M, that means again you are subtracting this whole region. Now in this whole thing, you have actually accidentally subtracted this region 2 times, this central region 2 times, right? So answer will be wrong in that case, because you should not subtract something twice, right? What you wanted is total minus this thing, right? This outside thing. So you just wanted this much, total minus this thing. Now in that, this central thing is subtracted 2 times. So to correct that factor, we have to add that part. Okay. So area of this center. Okay, I'm just saying it central shade. Okay, central shade means I'm talking about this area which is coming in both of them. It is called intersection and union and all, but I'm not I'm not talking in that language because I don't want to confuse you over here. Okay, just by looking at the areas you can see. So now if I convert this whole statement in terms of this question, so what I will say, that total students, okay, rectangle is telling us about total students, right, minus area of S means those who passed in science plus those who passed in maths. And what I have to add, why I am adding, again I am telling you, because this region, this central region is being subtracted two times, once while subtracting S and another time when subtracting M. So this was subtracted twice, so to correct that factor we have added it once. Okay, so we are adding it the passed in both wala. Okay, so passed in both. So now simply you write down the values. Total students were 100, passed in science are 20, passed in maths are 50, and those who have passed in both is 10. So if you solve this, this will be 100 minus 70 and plus 10. This will make up 40. So there are 40 such students who have not passed in any subject. Okay, now let's justify whether we have done everything correctly or not. So let's try to look upon that. Okay, so this is how you have calculated those students who have neither passed in science nor in maths. Okay, those who failed in both the subjects, in maths also and in science also, both which have failed. Okay, so all in all, what this whole Venn diagram actually tells you. So a single Venn diagram, the property which you are actually looking upon is inside the circle. The property which is, or whatever is not being followed by this, is going to be outside of the circle. Like if this is telling you about, if let's say you are talking about boys and girls, so this part if suggests about the boys, so outside of this will be girls. Okay, so like that. So this was when we were having two parameters to discuss. That's where we have done it. Now let's see that when we have a three parameter Venn diagram, so how to look upon that. Okay, alright, so when you have three different properties or three different quantities to represent in the form of information, in that case you use such Venn diagram, and when they are interconnected with each other, right, in that case we use such Venn diagram. If two are interconnected, third one is not interconnected, in that case the Venn diagram will be something like this. If two are connected, means two are there which overlap, something is common between them, and the third one is nothing is common between them, then it will be drawn like this. If three properties are not at all having anything common with them, it will be drawn like this. If three quantities are there and they are in such a way that that each one is a part of the other, for example, let's say Hyderabad, Telangana and India, right? So India is a country. Okay, so that I will represent like this circle. Telangana is a state of it which lies inside it, so that's why it will be like this, and then Hyderabad is a part of Telangana, so it will go like this. So all the three things are related to each other, that's why it will be like everything is common between them. So everything in Telangana is common with India, everything in Hyderabad is common with Telangana, so that's how it will be related. So these are some types of relation or some types of Venn diagram which you can draw, but in numericals or in questions people generally ask these type of things, so I'll be discussing them, right? So let's take it as a question. So let's say that there are people, okay, there are total 100 people. Out of these 100 people, 20 speak in English, 50 speak Hindi, and let's say 40 speak Bengali. Okay, so let's say this is how we are representing it. So there are total 100 people. out of these 20 will speak, 20 speak English, 50 speak Hindi, 40 speak Bengali. Now let's say that this circle, this one, is representing those who are speaking English, this circle is representing those who are speaking Hindi, and this circle is representing those who speak Bengali. Now this region will represent what? This will represent those who speak Hindi and English both, because it is common between English and Hindi both, right? Similarly, this region will discuss about those who speak English and Bengali both, right? Those who speak both. So you can just reduce it like two Venn diagram, like the one which we have just discussed, two circle Venn diagram, right? So where things are common between two things. Similarly, this region, okay, similarly this region is going to represent those who speak Bengali and Hindi both, okay. Now what about this central region, or this region which is coming common in all of them? Now this region is going to represent those who speak all the three languages, who speak English also, who speak Hindi also, and who can speak Bengali also, this inside region. What about that, those like this region, outside region, this region? So this comes, or these are the number of people who don't even who can't even speak English, who can't even speak Hindi, or who can't even speak Bengali. Okay? So this outside one is those who can't speak any of these three languages. They can speak some other language, maybe Telugu or Malayalam or some other language, but they can't speak these three languages. So this is how these are the information which you get from this Venn diagram. Now let's try to see what type of things can be asked from here. Okay. So to solve such questions, you need further more information which I have added over here, so that we can have a proper discussion of question. So we already had 100 people, we knew 20 were able to speak English, 50 Hindi, and 40 Bengali. I have added few more information that 10 of those can speak both English and Hindi, 30 can speak both Hindi and Bengali, and 15 are those who can speak English and Bengali both, and 5 are those who can speak English, Hindi, and Bengali all three. Okay. Now if I want to mention in the Venn diagram, I will simply mention it like this. So total are 100, don't need to mention that. 20 are those who can speak English. Okay. So this means this whole circle is going to contain 20 people. Now this whole circle will contain, okay, so this is for English, this is for Hindi, and this is for Bengali. This whole circle is talking about this 50 people, and this whole circle is talking about these 40 people. Now 10 are those who speak both English and Hindi, right? So that means which area actually I am talking about? I am talking about English and Hindi, right? So I am talking about this area, right? So that means this is represented in the Venn diagram by this shading, okay, slant shading. Now 30 are those who can speak Hindi and Bengali both. So that means Hindi and Bengali both is going to be represented by this, okay. So here I have shaded it straight, okay. I think you can differentiate the shading. So this is the straight shading which I have used over here, this region. And 15 are those who can speak both English and Bengali both. So for that I have used this horizontals, right, horizontal shading. So this is represented in the Venn diagram like this, and all the three is of course going to be represented by this central area, okay, central place or the central region. Now if somebody asks you that how many can speak only English, okay, only English, how to find out people who can just speak English, that's all, only English, no Hindi included, no Bengali included for that. So how you will do that? So for that, this circle is representing the English speaking people, right? This is representing English speaking people, and this region, this slant shaded region, is representing those who speak Hindi and English both. So if I remove these people from here, I will be getting those people who speak English but not Hindi, right? Hindi people I have subtracted from here. Means I have subtracted those common people who can who cannot speak Hindi. So I'm removing those people from here. So first thing is how I will do that. First of all, I will write down like total English speaking people, and from there I will subtract which area? this area, this one, which is those who speak Hindi and English both. So I will subtract both Hindi and English wala region. Okay, E and H I should write down. E and H. This region I will subtract. Again, I have to remove this region, which is those people who can speak English and Bengali both, right? So I have to remove this region as well. So for that, I can either do like this, I can either subtract like this. So I have to subtract this region also, means those people who can speak English and Bengali, I want to remove them as well. So both English and Bengali. But when you are doing this, you are done, like you have subtracted from the total English people, you have subtracted those who speak English and Hindi both, you have subtracted those who speak English and Bengali both. Now in this whole thing, or in this whole process, you have subtracted this region 2 times, right? One while subtracting English Hindi, one while subtracting English Bengali. So that means this region needs to be added once. 2 times subtraction, that means you are overdoing it, right? So, like you are just doing it twice, which is not needed. You should have subtracted it only once, right? So for that we have to add that area once. Okay, so which area it is? This is for all. So all E, H and B, this part you have to add. So how you will find out only English speaking people? So English speaking were 20, both English and Hindi people are 10, then both English and Bengali people are 15, and then all English, Hindi and Bengali are 5. So if you do that, how much you will get? So you will get 0. So that means there is no one. Okay, you can do it. 20 minus 10 is 15. 20 minus 10 is 10. 10 minus 15 is minus 5. Plus 5 will be 0. Yes. So that means there is nobody who can speak only English. There is nobody over here who can speak only English. Right? So you have subtracted and you got your answer. Now if somebody asks you how to find out those who can only speak Bengali, let's find out that. So if you want to find out only Bengali, for that again same thing you have to do. From this whole Bengali speaking people, okay, from this whole Bengali speaking people, you have to subtract those who can speak English and Bengali both, this region. Okay, so you have to subtract both E and B wala. Then you also have to subtract those people who can speak Bengali and Hindi both. So subtract both Hindi and Bengali. While doing that, you have subtracted this portion 2 times. So you have to add that once. So all E and E, H and B. Okay, E, H and B. So this is going to give you Bengali speaking are 40 minus both English and Bengali is 15 minus both Hindi and Bengali is 30 and plus 5. So if you solve this, you should get 45 this. So this is also coming up 0. So that means there is nobody who can speak only Bengali. Okay, so you got nobody who can speak only Bengali. So in the similar way, you can find out how many people can speak only Hindi. Okay, that will be again very simple. I'll just directly do that. I don't have space. I'll do here with a red color. So if I have to find out for only Hindi, you can simply do that. How you will do it? Just same thing. You have to subtract Hindi speaking minus, you have to subtract those who can speak in both English and Hindi. Then you have to subtract those who speak both Bengali and Hindi, and you have to add that region because that will be subtracted, all wala region. Okay, all E, H and B. So this will give you total Hindi speaking people are 50 minus both English and Hindi are 10 minus both Hindi and Bengali are 30. So and then you have to add 5. So 50 minus 10 is 40, 40 minus 30 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15. So there are 15 such people who can speak only Hindi. So this is how you find out certain information from Venn diagram. There are many things which you can do or we can find out from the Venn diagram, but I have just told you some limited things so that you can like practice it out or you can understand it. Now let's take some questions from CSIR NET exam and let's see how to solve them. Alright, so let's take this question which was asked in CSIR 2020 exam. The question says that in a class of 84 students, 29 failed in science, 43 failed in maths, and 17 students passed in both the subjects. Which of the following Venn diagram is the correct depiction of the situation? Right? So let's try to understand. See, this is a case, or this is a question where two parameters are there, two subjects are there, maths and science, and the property which they are looking upon is failing. Okay, failed student is what is being represented. So basically total students, let me write down, total students are 84. Those who failed in maths, okay, I'm writing M, so those are 43, and those who failed in science, those are 29. Okay, and those who passed in both, they were 17 students. So these are 17 such students who have passed in maths also and who have passed in science also. If I remove this 17 student from the total student, so all the other students are those who has either failed in maths or either failed in science or either failed in any in both of them, right? What does that mean? It means that if you draw a Venn diagram of failed student, this is the total student, this is the, let's say this is for the maths, this is the total student, this circle is for those who failed in maths, this is the circle for those who failed in science. So everything, so these are for failed students, so everything coming outside of this circle will be those who have passed in both maths also, they are passed, science also they have passed. That's why they are not inside the failed circle, right? These circle are for the failed students. So this outside region is nothing but the those who have passed in both. So this outside region should be 17, which is represented by option number D, and that's why it is correct option. That's the easiest way to reach out to this. But let's justify this, let's understand, because here we are not into solving the question. I have told you how to solve, but the next thing is to understand why this is correct. Okay, so let's look upon that. So these are those who have passed in both the subjects. So if I want to find out failed students, okay, I want to find out total failed students, means those students who failed. So how I will find out? If I just subtract from the total students, if I subtract passed students, right? If I subtract from the total the passed students, I will be able to get the total number of failed students. Now these total number of failed students will include three types of students: those who have failed in maths, or those who failed in science, or it also includes those who failed in both, right? So this total failed students actually carry all the number of all the three students. Okay, so that if I want to find out, I am just subtracting from the total, that is 84. I am subtracting those who have passed in all the subjects, that is 17. So this will give me 67. So 67 is the number of students who have failed. It includes those students who failed in maths. It also includes those who have failed in science. It also includes those who failed in both of them. So now we know that how many of them have failed in maths. Now when we are talking about those who have failed in maths, it includes two students: those who failed in only maths, and it also includes those who failed in both science and maths, right? Because it only says na failed in maths, so these are also failed in maths, these are also failed in maths, right? So this 43 is the number constituting of these two parameters. Same goes for this 29 is the one who have failed only in science, and also for those who failed in both maths and science. Okay, so now the idea is that we know 67 students are total failed students. We want to find out, so total failed students means the Venn diagram, if this is the Venn diagram, total failed students will be this. Okay, I'll not hodgepodge this, I'll show it in, let's say in this one I'm showing, or this one only. So failed students is this whole thing, right? These are the failed students now in the circle, this whole thing, inside the circle are the failed students. So this is 67. So total failed students will be equal to how much? Those who failed in maths plus those who failed in science. Now you have added failed in maths, failed in science. So in that process you have added this area, this central area 2 times. Once you were adding maths, you have added this portion. Once you were adding science also, again you added this portion. So this portion, the central portion, is like it got added 2 times, right? So since it has got added 2 times, okay, I'll just erase because this is becoming very hodgepodge, right? So yeah, failed in science. So when you are doing that, you are actually adding this central portion 2 times. So that's why you have to subtract that. Okay. So minus what? Those who failed in both. So simple it is. Total is 67 students who failed. Those who failed in maths are given to you are 43. Those who failed in science are given to you as 29. And those who failed in both, that you want to find out, let's say, although it is not asked, but I am just trying to explain you. So this will be how much? Those who failed in both will come up 72 minus 67, this will be 5. So there are 5 students who failed in both, which is mentioned over here. So 5 failed in both the subjects. 38 are those who passed only in maths, because 43 were total who failed in maths. If I remove 5 which failed in both of them, 38 comes which are only failed in maths. Only failed in science are 24. Total were 29. 5 which were both, I subtracted from there. 24 from here. 17 those who passed in both. So this is how you can justify the whole Venn diagram, and correct answer to we have already got earlier, right? So this is how you understand and you do this question. We'll take one more question to do. Okay, so this is a question. It says 14 of the students in a class are girls. 8 students in the class wear blue shirt. 2 are neither girls nor wear blue shirt. 5 students who wear blue shirts are girls. How many students are there in class? Now see, there are 2 parameters over here. There is no Venn diagram in this question, but you have to see. This was asked in CSIR December 2019 exam. June 2019 exam. Okay, so it says 14 of the students in the class are girls. Okay, first of all, let me draw a rough Venn diagram for this. So let's say I'm making a Venn diagram which consists of 2 parameters. One is for girls and one is for so these are girls and these are your blue like shirt. Okay, so this is for blue shirt. Now it is telling that 14 of the students in the class are girls. So this whole region, it is talking about this whole region. These are 14 students, okay, which are girls. This whole region is 14. Okay, so let me write down. So number of girls, I am writing it as NG, means number of girls is 14. 8 students in the class wear blue shirt. So this blue shirt is basically this region, right? So NB means those who wear blue shirt is 8, right? 2 are neither girls nor wear blue shirt. So neither girls nor wear blue shirt will be outside region, this region, right? The outside of this circle. So neither girls nor wear blue shirt, these are 2. Okay, 2 are neither girls nor wear blue shirt. 5 students who wear blue shirts are girls. Which area will be? So it is blue shirt also and they are girls also, means coming in both of them. So this is actually they are talking about this central region. Okay, so they are talking about and girls also and those who wear blue shirt, means both. Okay, they are talking about this both. So I'll write down rather both, means girls also and blue shirt, or I will write down girls and blue. So this is given to you as 5, right? Now the question says how many students are there in the class, means total students. Okay, total students are asked. How you will do that? That means you need total area to find out. See, in order to tell the total area, you have to add this outside area and this area of the circles. That's what you have to do. So let's do that. So outside circle area is this. That means I have to add this neither G nor B area, plus I have to add this circles area, means I have to add this NG, which is area of this circle, plus NB, which is area of this circle. Now when I was adding NG and NB, I have actually added this central area 2 times. That should not be done. I have to remove once, right? So if something is added 2 times, we remove it once. If something is subtracted 2 times, we add it once. Okay, that's what we do. Reverse kar dete. So this region is getting added 2 times. We are going to subtract it once. So that means N, G and B I am going to subtract. And that's how I will get that. So neither G or B is 2, NG is 14, NB is 8 and G and B is 5. If I do this, this is 2 plus 8, 10, 10 plus 14 is 24, 24 and minus 5 is 19. So the total number of students are 19 in class. This is how you do Venn diagram related question. So now is the time when I will give you a homework question so that you can also practice questions based upon Venn diagram. Alright, so this is the homework question for today's video. The question says that in a college, 200 students are randomly selected, means total student is 200. 140 like tea, 120 like coffee and 80 like both tea and coffee. Okay, I hope you will be able to draw the Venn diagram for this. Now the question is how many students like only tea, how many students like only coffee and how many students like neither tea nor coffee. So these 3 questions are there for today's homework. It's pretty simple. You just have to, and if you have understood the Venn diagram and if you have understood how I have solved questions, it will be easy for you to approach these questions. Okay, so I'll be waiting for your answers in the comment sections. So please comment down below what answer you have got. Now is the time when I will tell you the solution of the homework question of the previous video, right? So let us take that question. Alright, so our previous video was on the sequence of or the image analysis. So the question which I gave as a homework question in that video was select the suitable figure from the 4 alternatives that could complete the following matrix. Okay, this was the matrix which was given to you, which figure will fit over here. So looking upon that, we have to see. So I have explained it very carefully and very nicely in the previous videos. I hope the things are clear to you. I'll just zoom this up so that you can see the images clearly on the screen, right? Now let me tell. See, the first arrow, if you find out, what you will see that this line, this cross in the next figure, this cross, it has like there is an additional, so there is this is a plus. Okay, this is a plus sign. In the next figure there is a cross, additional cross which came, and in the last figure the plus sign is as it is, and in the place of this cross there are 4 circles which have come over here, right? These 4 circles are visible over here, right? So this is the pattern which you have to follow. In the second figure again, if you see, there is a square, like tilted square, which remains as it is, but an additional like cross came, right? This cross was here also, like this cross, this is in here as well, right? Like this, and these 4 like in the third one, wherever these cross goes, these 4 circles are coming. So that's how it was. What about this image? So following the same trend, see here again there is a cross. So what should be here? The cross will get over, and in the place of cross there will be circles which will come. So the central figure will remain as it is. That means this thing from where you have started, right? It started from plus, at the end also you got plus. It started from a tilted square, so it is, you have got the tilted square. So if you started from this, it should come in the last. and you should have circles in the place of this cross. So circles here, which is option number 2. Many of you have done it correctly, very happy with it. So yeah, very nice. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. These are my different social media platform links. If you want to join me over there, the links are also in the description of this video. You can connect me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.
Hey guys, so Unacademy has launched a Revise India series. It is a free video series for CSIR NET June 2023 exam. In this series, you will be able to attend free sessions by the India's top educators for CSIR NET. These sessions will be very helpful for your CSIR NET preparation and for your June 2023 exam. So all you have to do is follow the link given in the description of this video. You will come up to this particular page. There are various educators whose classes you will be able to see. All these classes are free of cost, so you can watch these classes. You will be able to see the classes of all the subjects over here. So depending upon which subject you belong to, you can choose a particular class, a particular educator, a particular topic, and watch that particular class.